quick idea about the Daf Yomi. Like I saw in Rabbi that his like Torah book. He just compared the Daf Yomi to what Yaakov did in Bereshit. It says he worked for 7 years, and it took a long time. That's what the Daf Yomi is. It's 7 years. But the thing is, the pasuk says that since he loved Rachel so much, it came to him like just 1 day at a time. And since he liked what he was doing, all the work over 7 years was just taken 1 day at a time. Wasn't so hard at all. So that's like the Daf Yomi. You take it 1 day at a time, and it goes, and you can get through it and learn it. So I just want to finish. I'm going to read the last 2 lines, and I'm going to say one idea about learning in general, and then I'm going to make the siyum. Okay, so the last 2 lines. This is Gemara Nida. The last one's in shas. So it says, Tan ve'Eliyahu kol shenehalachot b'chol yom v'kach lo shehu ben olam haba. So it's taught in the Academy of Eliyahu that anyone who learns halacha every day is ensured a place in Olam Haba. So, and then he quotes a pasuk to prove his point. Shenemar halachot olam lo, that the world is based on halachot. You inherit a world if you get the halachot. Al tikrei halachot, not the ways of the world, but rather ela halachot. But by learning halachot, you can acquire the next world. So the question really is, why is the last 2 lines about learning halacha and learning in general put here at the end of Gemara Nida? The topic right before this was talking about lots of details of the laws of Nida. So, and this passage only comes up 1 other time in Gemara, and it's also right next to the same topic about the laws of Nida and specific details. So the Maharal gives an idea, and he says, after learning the whole Gemara, you think you know lots of details and lots of laws and the way things work. You think you've covered the whole system. The truth is, after the Gemara, there's lots of chumras that happened, and it changed the whole system. So it turns out, in terms of halacha, most of the Gemara is irrelevant. It doesn't happen to make a difference because of one chumrah or another. But he says that the Gemara is coming to reassure you, to say, don't worry about the fact that it might not be what you're going to do in practice in the halacha, but this is what the Gemara, the Mishnah in Avot says, Kinin ve'helcha nida or picha nida hein gufa halacha. The learning, the mathematical calculations of the kinin, where you bring this certain specific birds, and the laws about the nida, those are considered Gufei halacha. These are the essential parts of halacha, even though they might not be so practical. So that's what the Gemara is, coming to tell you. You learn the details, even though it might not be so practical. So why is that? And that's, I guess, a general question in all learning. Why do we learn so much about the details if it doesn't end up being practical? So there's one quote. It comes up in Gemara, but also in the Rambam. He says, "Gadol halimud shemedi l'idei ma'isa." It's important to learn because that brings you to action. So I think it's the Maharsha, or someone asks, what's so important about learning that brings you to action? And why is that specifically referring to Gemara? Why should you learn Gemara? Because if I wanted just to do practical actions, I should just read the halakha. I should read the most practical modern sources. Why do I go back to the traditional sources, to the Torah and to the Gemara? So the phrase here is that the limud that brings out the maaseh is not the practical halacha, but it's supposed to be, when you learn something and you really understand the details and you spend time on it, it's supposed to inspire you to do the actions, to do the right things. Even though these aren't the practical actions that you're doing, it's just to get you involved in the topic and to get you to have an understanding for the details. Yeah.
The process. It's not the outcome. It's the process of going going back and forth and thinking about the way something is derived. That's what life's about too. Understanding not just by copying somebody, but understanding what was their motive behind it, what they were driven by.
Yeah. So that's Gemara does delve a lot into what's behind, what's the reasoning of, and what's the thought, what's the logic, and how far can you take that logic. Another one idea, the Mishnah in Avot says, Chavivin Yisrael shenikru banim l'makom. Bnei Yisrael are very special because they're considered children to Hashem. And it also says right next to it, Chavivin Yisrael shenatan lahem tzlichem da. Hashem made us very special because He gave us a very special vessel, and the Mishnah says that's Torah. So Rabbi Vadia asks, why are these 2 things put next to each other? Why are we special? Because we're children, and we're also special because we have Torah. So he says that when Moshe went to heaven to get the Torah, the angels tried to stop him. And they try stopping him. They said, there's the law of bar mitzvah. When you want to sell your field, and this is sort of fits into Kedoshim, Asita Yashar V'Tov, you're supposed to do the right thing. And the Chazal says that means when you sell your field, you're supposed to sell it to your neighbor first. Give him first dibs, so that he can extend his field. So that's what the angels are claiming. We're closer to heaven. Why are you giving to mankind? You shouldn't give the Torah to them because they're very far from heaven. So that's what the end of the Mishnah and Abba is telling us. The reason we were able to accept the Torah and we were so special to Hashem is because we were banim l'makom, because we were Hashem's children. And the halacha of giving the field to your neighbor, bar mitzvah, doesn't apply when you want to give your field, when you want to give a present to your son. That doesn't apply. Then you give it to your son because he's someone special. So that's what the Mishnah and Abba was connecting. The fact that we were children to Hashem is why we can get the Torah and learn it from Hashem, even though we might not be as close to as Hashem as like the angels are. So, I guess that just brings out the idea that we should be thankful for all the learning that we have and we can do, and we should be happy that those great things that we learned, the lessons that we learned from it. Okay. I guess just one last idea. This is from Rav Salvation. It says in, I think Brachot, it says, after the temple was destroyed, a significant change happened in general. In service to Hashem wasn't done in the Beit HaMikdash. It turned over to be a lot more in Torah. How come everything changed? Now there was a focus on Torah learning and nothing to do with this temple service. So he quoted a pasuk in Divrei Yamin that we say in davening, Hoga Hadar Lefanav Oz Lechadva V'Mikomo, which says that, and it's based on the Gemara, which says Mishnefra Beit HaMikdash in Lakadosh Baruch Hu Ba'olamo El Adadam Halacha. The fact Hashem puts His Shekhinah in halacha, in the learning of Torah, in the times when there's no Beit HaMikdash. So he explained when there's no times of Beit HaMikdash, Hashem wants to bring His presence to us. So He does that through Torah. And the pasuk he quoted from Divrei Yamin was saying that before Him Hashem has a lot of splendor and joy and great things, and the way He does it, there's no Beit HaMikdash to allow us to serve Him. He does that through Torah. And it gives us a way that we can come closer to Him. And also in the pasuk he's saying the chedva v'mkomo. There's lots of joy and there's happiness. We can be happy about learning, and you can have a lot of happiness from carrying out the learning itself. So I want to thank my parents and thank Hashem, of course, and thank everyone for helping me get here. It was, and then around. So now I'm going to just.
After Steve, there's some other people who need to speak.
Okay, fine. Should I do the same now? And then speak if I want to speak first. Okay, fine. So.
Oh, you want to speak? Gillen wants to speak?
Yeah, you have
He's doing it too.
Okay.
I think if we're going to do like getting ready for college, we're going to Gail.
Hadrachalan, Tana Masamadin, Tamabalu, Tatasalan, Lodin Sheminan, Masamadin, Tamabalu, Chita Sheminan, Lobama, Dim Lobam Data. Here, Tom of Naman, should take her time and attend Lama, the Tim, Manu Lama, Kani Papa, Rami Papa, Nafam Papa, Aki, Papa, Abba, Mari Papa, Rakam Papa, Rakish Papa, Surfa Papa, Ada Papa, Dar Papa. Her Edna and the Raider of the Papa, Pino, Vivian, Kabisha, the Kulano, and to Zane, to say, to say, Kabisha, Combination of later knowledge now. Right of agreement to fulfill Kilo Lamili, the be Tommy Bukaka, the number of the Lambo, Shaka, Kodaki, Bafi, Tani, brought an island, did Kuaka, I mean, men, so that Modiva Nana, Wadaka, Hino, the hair of the Tincher Santa Joaquin, the Yosri, Better Midrash, for the Santa Joaquin, the Yosri, Chrono. I'm asking him, I'm asking the Torah of him, I'm asking the Torah of Taylor. I'm a million common star, him a million, the him common star. I'm rotten, the him rotten, I'm rotten, the Kayan, loving him rotten, the verse of Hashem, of Talim, Tordim, the Bear Shafat, and Shade, the Mimmer, mildly, for the man, but near Tafafi. Here are some of the Fanefa, and Nile High. Kishim says Tami, the Siyum, the Sefat Nidos, and Tom Babu, King, the Remy, the Tim, the Saltus, Farim, the Afirim, the Sagram. The Motor, I mean, the Shmur, the Torah, the Pokemon, the Baba, the Squid, Colton, Naim, Moraine, the Kamadeka, the Yamovi, the Zari, the Shamotamush, the Torah, Mupi, Zari, Abalam, the Kayimbi, the Sakat, and Feltas, Bishop of the Fatish, Maralaha, Kitota, Hiskaha, Kibu, Yamaha, the Kilo Fashion of Haim, Arami, the Nas, Mola, Shakot, and the Nayas, and 10 night Rafash at the Mobile.
Amen.